Good morning, Mid-Michigan. This is the 1320 WILS Morning Wake Up with Dave Ackerley on More Compelling Talk Radio, 1320 WILS.
And another very nice morning out there as we start the month of September, still officially in summer, but boy, when we get to September and then we haven't quite hit Labor Day yet, the days are numbered. And we do, not for us, but for summer. Okay, we hope our days aren't numbered. My goodness. 64 degrees, so it's a little warmer today than yesterday, too. Noticed that last night with the windows open. A little bit warmer, but not bad overnight. Not in the least. 64 again out at Capital Region International Airport. I want to welcome in our good friend right now, Dr. John Braccio with Regional Psychological Services in East Lansing. drjohnb.com. That's where the podcasts are. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning, Dave. And I must start off with saying that Lord Nelson's monument in London, surrounded by brass lions made from Napoleon's cannons, is one of the most impressive monuments on earth. But go
now,
ahead,
the good doctor here, the good doctor is referring to our other good friend Kyle Malin with MERS News, who was having, let's just say, some trouble with a particular battle name that took place on the Rolling Main off the coast of France in the British Channel, the English Channel, rather. Trafalgar. But there are so many, those are the ones, and we talk about bringing down monuments, but as you know, over the UK, there are so many monuments to both Nelson and Wellington, who won the Battle of Waterloo. Yes. I mean, you can, and some of them I understand, and this may be apocryphal, some of them I understand were made with some of the melted armaments that they had taken from those ships and from Napoleon's army against, the Prussians and the English, and that was all part of it too. So it's always interesting how those statues come to board. But yes, that is a major one in London. I wanted to start off here without the normal preamble because I wanted to just check in with you and see overall how your summer has gone, and how you're prepping for a fall right now without college football. That's not easy for you or me.
Well, that is true. I might add, my son went to the University of Miami. We have a place in Miami. So at this point, I guess we'll be rooting for Miami football. How does that sound?
Boy.
Obviously, we're Big Ten fans, but obviously there's actually going to be a lot of college football, barring some things happening. The SEC is playing. The ACC is playing. So believe it or not, I'm a Big Ten person all the way. However, that is, an opportunity to be watching a lot of football, barring something really bad
and
happening.
You've gone to the stadium in Miami a number of times. Now that it's been all redone, it's very fan friendly with the sun now too.
That is a magnificent stadium for football, I might add. But back on the summer, no, it's been a magnificent summer.
Good.
These have been difficult times, but we're over in Spring Lake a lot, near Grand Haven, so
Sweet.
It's been a nice summer. The family's all been healthy, and we've seen grandkids and done things. So overall, from a personal point of view, it's been a good summer. We've been very busy in our offices, I might add, doing a lot of things with, on the phone. But overall, there's been a lot of anxiety and depression in the world, I might add, Dave. I mean, this is a difficult time for a lot of people. And a lot of OCD, obsessive compulsive, a lot of people kind of even going overboard to some degree, if you can get overboard during a pandemic. So from one level, I think there's a lot of difficulty people. We've seen a lot of that. We try to help with that, of course. But at a personal note, it has been a wonderful summer, and looking forward to hopefully a nice and a more peaceful and a nice fall.
That's excellent. I know we've talked here recently, and we've made clear with listeners, what happens when you don't chase your own dreams, when you tend to, you shoot them down of your own accord ahead of, and it's not a good thing overall. But I guess, what could be even worse than that is if you're married and you've got a spouse that is sabotaging the dreams and goals of each other here. That cannot be any way, shape, or form a healthy relationship.
Well, that is true, and this can even happen with spouses that love each other, okay? Because there can be a lot of conflicts, even among people that you wouldn't really think they would be having them, because there can be conflicts, and sabotage can relate from wanting more control. There's competition, lack of security on one side,
Okay.
control over family finances, wanting more attention, a lack of trust, dislike of the roles that each person is in, jealousy, different views on lifestyle, anger, inability to effectively problem solve, getting even for perceived unfairness or disliked behavior, deviousness, dishonesty, parenting differences, strong disagreements on who controls different aspects of the marriage, disagreements on responsibilities, friendship, spirituality, or lack thereof. And I've just thrown out a list of things that we often see, and believe it or not, that sounds like a long list, but it's not even the end of a list. But there are so many things that two people can find conflict in. So it really, when you see a couple that is worked out how they're going to work with each other, who's going to control what aspects of things, which ones are going to do teamwork on, it can lead to a superb marriage. But when you have these sabotaging activities, let's just say someone would like to move, or someone wants to just even something as basic as add an addition on a house, or go to a different school, or whatever it might be, there's so many things that can lead to conflict. And I always say, hey, find ways that you can really discuss with each other. And I think that if spouses have the ability that they can discuss problem areas, eliminate them through a combination of just really honest soul-searching, active listening, non-judgmental interaction, and genuine compromise and problem-solving, then things can be resolved. But those are very difficult things for people to do that are sabotaging each other, sometimes purposefully, but often not even purposely, just seen as disagreements that both of them have.
So what is the... I know there's no magic turnkey here, but what is the answer to that? I mean, you talk about active listening, and boy, I really want to know what you would like. And if you're genuine and sincere, I think it's a great start. But as you went down that list, some of those things, boy, oh boy, any one of them can be fraught with peril. You checked off about 14 or 15. So if you were advising, where would you begin?
I think you have to have honest discussion about what both of you disagree on. What hurts your feelings? What are things that you feel are sabotaging? Like, let's even say someone doesn't even tell you in phone numbers that people have called you or made contact or tried to, or they emailed, somehow you didn't get the message.
Boy. Oh, no.
That can happen sometimes. Or so I think what you have to do, you have to be able to sit down and talk about, these are things that aren't working. These are things we need to work on. And the fact that half the marriages in the country fail shows that people aren't very good at this, or a lot of people really aren't very good at this. So I think it does take some soul searching. It takes some honesty, and it takes some good discussion. Really, in a marriage, in a relationship, if you can't have good communication, and you can't have honest disagreement, and you can't come to resolution on critical things,
right,
then that relationship is not going to work, or it's going to be badly damaged. So in my general view, I believe 50% fail. We know. I believe 25% are not very good. They just have learned to accommodate, and 25% are very effective. And those that are effective, they have learned to be able to work things out, either with themselves or with someone else, a family member, or it could be a therapist, it can be a church person. Whatever it might be, if people aren't able to sort these out, there's big problems.
I agree with you in this. The way you've laid this out here is, I've heard people say before, half of marriages end in divorce. That's because people are unfaithful. But I think it's a lot more to it than that, and it's some of these other boxes that you're checking off here, and that's where things start to unravel. Not the big one that gets all the attention that I just mentioned, but all of these other things that can contribute to that feeling of, I'm not sure if this is the right person with me anymore. Why? One big thing? Well, a bunch of small things, but they add up to one big thing. You see where I'm going with that?
Well, that is true, what you just said there, Dave, because often, aside from the serial philanderer, a lot of relationships, unfortunately, outside of marriage relationships often begin because there's bad communication, people aren't working together at home, so people find someone else. I'm not approving of that. I'm saying it's often more of the symptom of the problem. But the main problems are really, they're small, or they seem small to the outside, but they become quite big on the inside, and they grow like a cancer, and then people quit communicating, or they're fearful of communicating thinking it's just going to lead to a big argument and a big fight. So people kind of are living a world together, which the public may think is very effective and they're getting along, but they're really not communicating and really sharing their feelings, which really is very critical. And just a lot of couples have an incredibly difficult time doing that. So, and we do a lot of couples work, and of course I know couples outside of marriage that people are often asking my advice, in terms of what I might think would be done. I just say communication, 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 just like we talk location, location in real estate. In a good marriage relationship, it's communication, communication, and finding ways to change, because relationships, marriages are things that change. They're like a garden. They need constant work, and they need to be things working out, because people change what they want in real life. Someone may want more education. Someone may want a different career, a different job, move to a different area. A whole bunch of all these things come up in the road of life, and if a couple's not able to work together and resolve them, it can lead to a lot of anger, hostility, a lot of jealousy. It can just lead to a lot of really bad things. So being able to problem solve and make sure you're not sabotaging the other. And I might add, the saboteur doesn't always think they're sabotaging. They just think they're getting even, or they're maybe even helping the person by having them not try to reach their goal, have them be happy, rowing in the boat for Rome, versus the idea of going forth and being a captain on your own. So it's a very tricky thing.
I do not recommend rowing the boat ever for Rome. That's just me. If you've seen the movies, it's not a good thing. Yeah, it's not a good. Don't be in that crew. Okay, it's better to be captain of your own. And we tie it all back, I guess, to Horatio Nelson. Right there with the good doctor. Good advice today. I'm glad that the summer's been going well for you so far. It's nice, and you've got, like I said, some football to look forward to when you're back and forth to your place in Dade County, Florida, and Miami, which sounds like fun right now. I'm gonna miss it locally. I just
listen,
we're gonna get it. Yeah, and without high school football either, and just the Lions to maybe have going. Boy, it's going to be bouncy, but we'll get through it. I know we will, and come out the other side.
Dave, I hope you had a nice summer. I know you had a nice vacation here recently, so we'll look forward to working with you.
And I'm looking forward to a little bit more at the end of this week. So they're small little bits and pieces, but they definitely help. Our good friend Dr. John Braccio, drjohnb.com. If you go to drjohnb.com, the podcasts are all there, and this will be there shortly. Take care, my friend.
Same to you, Dave. Bye-bye.
All right, stay safe. We're back on the Morning Wake Up. 1320 WILS.
WILS. He's been called the master of assessments.
In this world that we're in, so many people